No.
When a new car is born,
There we go.
the world takes notice. The launch is a spectacle. Glossy billboards, cinematic films, every angle perfected. The car is a star, shining in its moment of arrival. But then, the story changes. The same car, just a few years later, a poor snapshot, all the emotion gone. With AI and automation, we can bring that magic back. Buying a car is an emotional journey, from the rush of picturing that first drive to the comfort of feeling understood. Meet Jen's Peter Sjöberg, who brings his cinematic expertise to reimagine the automotive buying experience. It's about more than just keeping up with other industries. It's about using AI to tailor each customer's individual journey into making a decision. Create a connection, build trust, and tell the story.
Was that in any way emotional to you? Yeah? Felt something, right? So the real impact for all human beings is obviously emotions. Not all of it, but mostly. And this is what the research tells us. Around 2002, an article from Gerald Saltman was released in the Harvard Business School, estimating that 95% of all purchase decisions are made in the subconscious mind, driven by emotion and not logic. And what we can tell is that the right emotions build trust, engagement, loyalty, advocacy, and value perception, and the speed of a purchase, the decision, I want this now. And it's pretty like if I look at myself, I am a surfer. I put myself in a sort of, I look at myself in a sort of adventurous kind of way. I'm an adventurous person. I identify myself with quite robust car like a Jeep or Land Rover. That's me. And I see myself in this sort of a dream. Yeah, that would be awesome. So it's my self-image that tells me what I want. It's a dream that I've built up inside me. And obviously that ended up in me buying a Jeep or something like that. So the modern car journey, if we look at cars, it's a pretty complex journey with about 400 touch points. Obviously not everyone is touching all those points, but to be consistent and delivering emotion on all these levels is obviously impossible, or it has been. It has been impossible. When you get into the buying journey, so to say, you enter it somewhere with some sort of emotional value. You have some sort of direction where you want to go in your purchase. You have placed yourself in your self-image, what you want. You could, for example, think about the environment. I want an electric car. You could be macho. I want a big car with a big engine that works on fuel. Like, it's all about your self-image. And the wider you can project emotions to an audience, the more easy it will be to, I use the word manipulate, but in a good way. Manipulate those emotions towards your specific target. And in today's car journey, we have a huge emotional drop-off, I would say. You have the OEMs investing billions of dollars in marketing for new vehicles. And those investments they are getting their ROI on that, but you can actually leverage on that and build upon those values that are already built on the top level. When you go into the emotional entry value, you get the value of that is decreasing today, and it's because of many factors. It could be a design on a website, it could be how the listings are done, it could be the quality of the images, it could be how you do the storytelling, and it's usually not that good, if you ask me. So all these things makes the buying journey just more and more boring. More and more boring. Sorry, my English. And because of this, I'll go to the next slide. We have, from the OEMs, we have a sort of disconnected marketing pipeline, which could be much better, much more efficient than it is today. And everyone knows, dealing with cars, speed is money. So we don't have time. We have to get it up, we have to sell it now. That's the mentality. And it always has been, it will always be, sort of. And that specs itself sells. So all these things can decrease the value of the emotional value from my entry point in the buying journey, wherever that is. There are obviously other key points here that you could raise, but I'll pick these ones because they're pretty obvious. So what does it lead to? Well, decreasing the emotional value in any ways, sort of. It will let down the customer, because if you have a perception of how something will be, you'll be let down if it's not like that. And that goes on many layers too. It's really hard to define these things in a presentation like this. But it could be visiting the websites, as I told you. It could be image quality, the way you tell the story of the specific car, and so on. And from that you get the trust erosion. Quality speaks trust. Storytelling speaks trust. And from an ordinary listing, I don't see any of that. Which, yeah. And all that gives us a very reduced engagement. If anyone has questions, just raise your hand and I'll bring it up. So, how do we create emotions for the car industry in the sense of listings and so on? Well, we can look at how brands do this, and we can look at how storytelling do this. Emotions before logic. How should I phrase this? I've got a good example coming up, but it's sort of touching the heart before speaking the spec. You know? Could be simple things, a sentence. Just small things that opens up the emotion. Apple does this perfectly, as everybody knows. They put the specs into the lifestyle. So a computer doesn't have, the first thing is not that it has a good processor. This computer, you can be a video editor. That's how they marketed in the 90s. To me, I was a video editor then. And that's sort of what the core is all about. To find those points where you can touch the heart. If you own a Macintosh, you are a creative person, you know. Pretty easy. And it's the same with Nike. Use the same kind of formula. You identify yourself with athletes, and the features become the lifestyle that you want. All this together creates touching the heart, defining the lifestyle. It creates emotions in us. I love the psychology behind this. It's really, really interesting. So what every sort of company, not just car companies and so on, every company and every person should probably ask themselves, where are you on the emotional scale? How do we communicate to our customers? Is it only transactional and logical? Do I show horrible images together with a spec sheet? It's like a commodity, right? Instead of selling a dream. And that's sort of the whole point of it, to just pick on that little dream. How do I do that? How do I get there? How do I get higher on this scale when selling cars? And we have the emotion. The investment in this will always give you the emotional ROI. Everything tells us this. Yeah, so this is sort of how it works. It would be really complicated to paint out the whole picture here, because it's a really complex kind of thing. But we have today, we can look at the inventory data, we can look at the customer data and the OEM data, and all of those together with some other data points, maybe email and location and things like that. That to us in the wider picture doesn't look that sexy, sort of. If you do the data input in the correct way today and use the right tools to analyze that, you can actually, with the AI, create manipulation, emotions, make the AI create things that will raise the emotional value. And this consists, and one thing I have to mention is the most important thing here is the holistic view. So it can find data points and specifics that's more or less hasn't been possible before. And with a good input and something to solve, it can most likely do that with data points we've never ever seen before. And examples that it could then create this emotional value with is obviously the easiest way is probably images. Images is one of the easiest way to create and video, moving images together with sound, obviously. But this doesn't stop there. It has everything to do with brand alignment, over 100,000 cars. It has everything to do with finding specifics for a dealer up in Scotland and a dealer down in Cornwall, they could communicate a totally different way, right? So you can tailor-make all this in a big, nice, I don't know, I don't have a name for it, but you could do so much. And I just wanted to mention customer success because it's a really interesting kind of point here, where the communication can be aligned with everything. So the communication over all those touch points can actually today be aligned. And this is really interesting. You could, from a sale all the way down to post-sale, and maybe even the next sale, make this to a person today. It's just a thought. Nobody has done it yet, but it's a thought, and it's, to me, really interesting. And this, I mean, a lot of this has to do with the actual data input. What do we have to manipulate this? Any questions? Nope. Then we move. So, just for an I did this in 5 minutes, sort of, and what I wanted to do is to, with that sentence, I wanted to just, in 5 minutes, I actually put this it doesn't look that good, but it does the work. I wanted to sort of, how can I tell a story that's more interesting that this car has 400 horsepower and and in good condition. I wanted to take that sentence, put it on something to create something much more, and I think it does the work. You'll be the judges of that. No, sorry, I can't. Vad blir jag? Så. Nej. How do I play that one? Huh? Sorry about this.
Imagine this car right now, the weight of the steering in your hands, the hum beneath your seat, the way time slows as you merge with the road, feel that calm certainty? That's what 400 horsepowers in perfect condition feels like when power meets presence.
So it's short, but it says more than the text, right? And it creates something else. It lifts something to a different level. So, because I come from video and like images and things like that, I'll just show you a couple of examples how we at Phyron do this. Today we're working a lot with developing new. Oh, sorry. I have two buttons. We're working a lot with creating OEM aligned material, which is sort of an emotion preservation, I call it, where we take brand alignments and create ads and content with that alignment, and that goes over the board. It's fully automatic with around 20 AI models taking care of different tasks. Yeah, around 20 AI models. For used cars, we sort of, some, as you know, are OEM aligned too, but in some cases we build emotion for, we do a recreation, as we call it. We recreate the emotion for that specific car or dealership, so it depends on what the angle should be. And we do this over the board in images, video, and a lot of new stuff coming out this year, next year, or end of this year. And these are just a couple of samples of what we do and how we try to everything I've been talking about, that creating the emotional value and try to get that more into the car industry. And that's sort of, so I mean, I'm just gonna end here, I think, with where we're actually going. I mean, today it's a brand new horizon we have. Over the last 4 or 5 years, it's been amazing, but this is just gonna accelerate and be, yeah, nobody knows where it's gonna end up, but it's gonna be something amazing, I think, that we will be able to create. We will sort of be able to create OEM brand commercials that cost, you know, millions of dollars within on every specific car within 2 years, I would say, which is pretty amazing. And just that, being able to create emotion that way is yeah, I'm thrilled that I'm in this space of time. Any questions so far? Anything? No? I must have been doing a good job then, right? So, the core truth, I don't think. Yeah, there we go. So that's me. Thank you.